Hello and welcome back to our Carrier Product Update series. I'm Jason Powers with Legacy Brokers, and joining me today is a good friend of mine, Mark George with United Healthcare and All Savers. Mark, welcome back to the series.
Good to be here.
Good to have you. Good to have you. I know it seems like we've done this a few times here where we've talked pretty extensively about All Savers and United Healthcare and all the things that are going on with your products. I had some particular questions this time around. So I had some agents that kind of came back with some feedback and asked some specific questions. So I really appreciate you taking the time today, come out and help me fill in some of the blanks.
Sure thing.
So
Let's get going.
Yeah, for sure. So we're heading into the busy season. Most of us are already in the thick of it. I think I read somewhere today that today or this week is where we can start locking in some of those larger 1-1 stop loss rates, and it made me kind of chuckle because we're still trying to finish up some 10-1s. But with regard to both the fully insured side and really more specifically, I think the All Savers side of things, we had some questions from agents about the wellness programs within the All Savers product, the Rally, Real Appeal. What are those things? What are those products? What do they mean? What can agents really expect from a member experience?
Sure. The nice thing about the product is, as you know, All Savers is for groups 5 to 300. So even a 5-life group gets the monthly reporting and everything, so they can see how the group's running. But we have Rally, which is our online wellness tool, which I really like. In fact, I need to do my own, reminds me, to get my money. But with Rally, there's weight loss tools and games. There's diabetic plans you can get into to help control your diabetes if you have diabetes. Weight loss management programs, which will go into a more exclusive benefit in a minute, and just weightlifting programs, diet programs, recipes, all sorts of things you can imagine on Rally, which gets you coins, which then you can put into rallies to win things at the end of each quarter. So Rally's a wonderful program. I'm more excited about Real Appeal.
Okay.
Real Appeal is for any group 5 and above as well, also offered on our ACA product, which is a true no-cost weight loss program. Full-blown weight loss program, depending on your BMI, and if it's high enough, luckily I'm in that category, 25 and above, BMI index.
We won't zoom too far out for either one of us because I think we're both in that category, Mark.
But we send you a toolkit to get you started. We'll send a scale, we'll send measuring cups, we'll send videos, we'll send an exercise rope, and with that program, you have a coach and a team process to go over a long period of time to help you with your diet, with your exercise, and have other people in your same condition on the same team going towards the same goal. So Real Appeal is a great program that we're excited to have, and hopefully employees are taking advantage of it.
That's great. So there is a wellness program. When I get asked that question, which
yes,
I get
even a
asked a
5-life
lot,
group gets it. Yes,
there is a wellness program. It does have content. It does have something tangible that employees can engage in or members can engage in. So
it sure does.
So we'll have to make sure that we post some links on our site for downloadable content that and agents can use in their presentations for sure. The other thing that came back in some of the feedback that we got was really kind of taking a deeper dive into the virtual visits. I know All Savers, United Healthcare in and of itself has been kind of on the front line of creating something different with your telemedicine or virtual visit benefit. Talk a little bit more about how what it is and how it's a little bit different than some of the other programs out there.
The good thing with virtual visits, we used to actually charge a $10 copay for our virtual visits, but starting in 21 and again in 22, we're waiving all fees, so the virtual visit is at no cost. The nice thing, we use a large network of physicians, formerly known as Healthiest You for All Savers, for example, that's been bought by Teladoc, so it's got a large organization behind it, which means it's easier to get through to the phone once you're needing that, especially with COVID. People aren't necessarily wanting to go to the doctor's office. I know I don't want to go sit in a doctor's office where there might be 20 COVID patients in there waiting to see a physician when I can call them on my phone, on my computer, and get advice over the phone. I just used it a couple months ago for a sinus infection. They were able to write me a prescription. I saved that doctor's visit, and the cost was nothing. The only change to that is, as you may know, the CARES Act made some changes for January 1st of 22, where only on HSA plans we're required now to charge a $45 copay.
Okay.
The law used to state that you could have a no-cost benefit in front of your deductible on the HSA, and that has changed. But outside of that, it's still a real robust program, especially for those on the PPO plans.
Got it. And I think that all came out of the CARES Act and was part of the push to get more telehealth out there, and that it's scaled back on that, allowing those HSA plans to have it at no cost. Now pushing it back to making sure that there's some front end cost, which makes sense. So that's good. So and not only the Teladoc, HealthiestYou converting Teladoc, but you guys will do and allow employees to have their dependents enrolled in the Teladoc benefit, even though their dependents are not enrolled in the medical plan.
Right, that's one special offering. I'm glad you brought that up. That we enhanced our HealthiestYou last year, and with that, we allow spouses and children that may or may not be covered under the plan. If they're not covered under the plan, and you have single coverage through your employer, they can still access the virtual visit benefit.
Yeah.
I don't know of any carrier offering that benefit
I haven't seen
right
it
now, and we know that not every plan has virtual visits. Hopefully, most do by now. We're in the 20th century, but the ones that don't, we make it available to those, like I said, additional dependents that may not be covered to help them out.
Yeah. No, it's certainly unique to the way United Healthcare presents that benefit, and it's something that I think gets missed a lot.
Sure.
We've talked ad nauseum about the no-kid copays and some of the other benefits within the United Healthcare and All Savers package of plans, and probably the most confusion I get is, or maybe not confusion as much as it is the number one question is, what do all these product names mean, right? So we've got Performance, Primary Advantage, and you have a product grid, right? That kind of helps us break down those differences.
Yeah. In the product grid, they're breaking down my plan family, and most of it involves directing people to lower and better costs of care, and thus driving the rates to a lower point. Most people are used to the standard PPO plans. With like a Performance or Primary Advantage plan, they have much. Performance has like $10 copays versus $30 for a PCP, just to incent more people to go there. Lowers the urgent care from 75 to 50, and tries to keep people out of the emergency rooms because most visits, believe it or not, are not necessarily go to the emergency room. Primary Advantage, however, takes it one step further and goes all the way down to a $0 copay for a PCP, and then stretches the specialist all the way up to $100 to really push employees to go back to the traditional PCP, which can do most things. My primary care doctor can tell me if a freckle looks like it might need to be looked at by a derm, and if so, he will send me there, versus me going to the derm directly. With people kind of get used to going to their specialist directly now. So plans are designed and tiered to incent people to utilize lower cost of care.
So kind of scaling back some of the open access panel kind of ideas.
Go everywhere you want.
The industry has opened the doors to higher utilization. This helps us maybe scale back some of that utilization, bringing us some lower costs, and just being able to control where that care is delivered, and
exactly
and redirect those dollars elsewhere. So,
right.
Now, but core, and this is something that you and I talked about beforehand. Core Essential is something that you feel like it's not getting the traction out of the broker community, and we know here, at least in the Kansas City market, that there are narrow networks being used all over town. So. And from what I can see inside that core product, at least in Kansas City, it's got all the necessary providers in there. So talk about what's
it kind of confused because two of the other main carriers in Kansas City, we all know their names, have products that are exactly the same with the exact same network. It's the St. Luke's Children's Mercy Network. Yeah. Price points 14 to 16% less than the exact same benefit plan under the traditional side, just by limiting from 14 hospitals to all the St. Luke's facilities and all the Children's Mercy's facilities. Because I don't know about you, but when I go to St. Luke's, I'm being asked, well, which one of the 27 locations do you want to go to? At least some at Kansas City, South, the main campus,
sure.
whatever.
Sure.
So it's still a pretty broad network, and that price point, you would hope people would take a close look at least offering it as a dual or multi-choice package plan for the employees, or for the employer to at least base their contributions off of, because it's the lower price point. but still gives full benefits for all their employees.
So we can dual option it. We can still multi-choice it. It's just a matter of maybe putting it in the presentation and having that as the option for employers. And outside of Kansas City, I know what I've seen in the United Healthcare and All Savers products and proposals that we do in Colorado or Oklahoma or Texas, Florida, what have you. They all the markets have something similar. They've all really designed a narrower network where they've got a specific set of hospitals that they want to really package as that EPO or smaller network product.
Right, and the good thing about us, our website's real easy to use. When you're searching for physicians, whether it be on myallsavers.com or myuhc.com, you select Core or Core Essentials, the network. Core just means that there's an out-of-network benefit. Core Essential means there is not an out-of-network benefit. And in Kansas City, for example, we have 5 counties where those employers are eligible to purchase the product, and that's the same throughout the United States, and we can get more detailed. Brokers have clients in specific markets, we can help them with that.
Sure. All right, so some other changes, or maybe not changes, but maybe enhancements coming. DocuSign that we've been using for the last 2 years in the All Savers submission process, so new case submissions, is now Adobe Sign.
Correct.
It looks a little different. Agents can still jump in and help their clients fill that stuff out. It's a little more difficult than sitting down. The days of sitting down with an application and helping the employer kind of go through it. Now it's all done virtually through that Adobe Sign product. Any tips or tricks that
the nice thing about it, once again, back to COVID, less face-to-face meetings. We've been doing this for, I can't believe it's going to be 2 years this March that we've had this kind of activity in North America. But yeah, a lot of brokers like the idea. The thing I really like about DocuSign now being replaced by Adobe Sign, which is going to be an easier system to use, is that you can't miss anything. When you're sitting down with an employer and you're kind of half jarring around and you're filling out the paper apps, you're going to miss stuff.
Yeah.
I see it. It comes in half filled out.
Yeah.
Adobe Sign doesn't let you do that. You can't move to the next line until that space is completed, which, less missing information on submissions, quicker policy numbers, and as we head into the fourth quarter, time is of the essence. So hopefully more people try that Adobe Sign and use it.
Yeah, and start to finish, I think we found that Adobe Sign process, the submission process, is quick. It's painless. The encoding team does a pretty good job of making sure that if there is anything that's needed, we know about it pretty quick. Heading into the busy season, a lot of cases coming up for January 1. What kind of incentives do you have for groups to in that 1/1 cycle?
I'm glad you mentioned that. That's one thing that's not in Adobe Sign, because we do it short term for the Kansas City area, and it differs by market. So Jason can get with you and let you know if in fact your market is eligible for it. We're offering a 15-month rate guarantee under the All Savers level funded products.
Okay.
And for the Kansas City metropolitan area, it's for October, November, December, and January cases.
Wow.
Offering a 15-month contract at the same rate. Some of the other carriers offer this. It's to make it easier on the brokers, yourselves, as well as our renewal representatives, so they're not
Sure.
loaded with December and January renewals, which after that wonderful law passed a few years back, a lot of cases moved to. So we're trying to make that easier on you. And some of the carriers I know charge a little extra rate for that. We do not.
Okay, so same rate either
Something
way.
to look at.
Same rate either way, and at least in Kansas City Metro, it's October through January 1 effective dates.
Correct.
Pushing them out to 15 months. We just have to decide on the front end of that sold case submission which one we want to go with.
Right, and you'll have to fill out a 12-month form or a 15-month form on
Either
every
way.
submission during those 4 months.
Good to know. All right. Any other words of wisdom from the sage old Mark George before we head out into the busy season?
Trying to think, like I said, get your submissions in early. The earlier the better. All Savers, you may or may not have heard, has gone out to 120 days for quoting, so start sending those in now. The ACA stuff, I'm hearing October 1st. Jason will get to you. We just got approval today for Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, and Iowa for our 2022 ACA plan grids have finally been approved. Yep. So that's exciting. But
I saw those in my inbox.
October will be here in 2 weeks. It's hard to believe. So we'll be quoting ACA groups then. But remember, if you got an ACA renewal coming up, you don't have to wait for the renewal. You can run a quote October 1st. That new business rate will be the same as the renewal.
And GRX is we're doing GRX.
And GRX underwriting, we're still doing it for groups 10 or more enrolled. It differs by market. Some market it goes all the way down to 5.
Oh,
like
wow.
Arkansas right now is down to 5, for example, just as one
Wow.
point. So
Okay.
so in Kansas City market, we only need applications on groups 5 to 9 enrolled, or if they're a virgin case under 50.
Got it.
Otherwise, makes it much quicker, much faster. Do the GRX underwriting, get it back, do spreadsheet enrollment, no wage and tax needed. Very easy.
Perfect. Well, Mark, as always, I appreciate you coming in, battling traffic all the way from South Johnson County.
It's all good.
To get up here to our wonderful studio here in Lenexa. Agents, think about United Healthcare and All Savers for your next case. If you've got some questions about the proposals that we're sending out on those, be sure to check in with our team. I'll make sure that in the links below our video here, you can see, you can pull some of those plan grids, pull some of the resources that Mark's talked about, and get as many tools available to you as possible to help you be successful in that fourth quarter. Mark, thanks again for coming in. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Take care.